Judge Jeanine Pirro.
She's the outspoken host. Judge Jeanine Pirro is dominating the headlines right now.
This is the Judge Jeanine Tunnel to Towers Foundation Sunday Morning Show. Now, here's Judge Jeanine Pirro.
Welcome, everyone, to the Judge Jeanine Tunnel to Towers Foundation Show. I hope everyone is enjoying their day so far. For me, I am really enjoying it. I'm in Washington, D.C., and not New York City. And I could say it's a wonderful day here, but I can tell you it's damn freezing here. But as always, we are armed and ready to serve justice with all my great listeners here on the Red Apple Audio Network. It is a great day. We are about to witness the smooth transition of power from Joe Biden, the 46th president, to the 47th president of the United States. The inauguration to take place tomorrow morning on Monday, January 20th. And as far as a lot of Americans are concerned, a minimum of 73 million, tomorrow can't come soon enough. Tomorrow will be a new dawn, a new day, a golden era, as Donald Trump calls it in America. Tomorrow will be about accountability. It'll be about consequences. It'll be about justice and fairness. It'll be about a man at the helm who believes in America, who believes in this country, who loves the flag, who adores the Constitution, who understands what Americans need. And then in the end, every one of us is going to benefit. No longer will we be subjected to the leftist progressive gaslighting that has impacted so many of us in a negative way. The gaslighting where they told us the border was secure. The gaslighting where they told us that in America, it's okay to interfere with an election by making sure that, social media giants and the tech giants suppress the voice of Americans. You know, the First Amendment to the Constitution is the First Amendment because it's really important. The freedom of speech, the freedom of discussion. And what we have witnessed from Barack Obama when, he stood in front of the United Nations, I believe it was in 2012, September 25th, and he said, no one can slander the name Mohammed. And I remember saying to myself, he was in front of that green wall. What is he talking about? Nobody can slander the Prophet Muhammad. In America, you could say whatever you want. I mean, there may be consequences, but you can say whatever you want. And then the Biden administration went full bore, making sure that our voices were suppressed. Whether it was talking about COVID, whether it was talking about Hunter Biden's laptop, whether it was talking about the fact that, Joe Biden was involved with his son's businesses and he lied to us. We had an intelligence agency and heads, 51 of them, who said that the idea that Hunter Biden's laptop was real was nothing more than Russian disinformation. And they did it so Joe Biden would be able to answer at the debate with Donald Trump, that he'd be able to say, that's disinformation. You're a liar, Joe. You knew it was disinformation. And the intelligence community lost a great deal of respect, whatever respect people may have had for them. They were political. They only cared about power. Those days are over. The days of the trans beating up women in women's sports, literally, or competing with young girls and destroying their dreams and the work that they've done for years is over. The idea that the border is secure and illegals are able to pour into this country, the lie is put to the argument by Mayorkas and Biden and Kamala that the border is secure. It's not secure. How do I know? We've got dead people across America who are proof positive that the border wasn't secure. And now we've got Americans who are getting ready to Trump-proof their state or their county to make sure that there can't be deportation. Today, we've got a great show. We've got Sid Rosenberg lined up. He's going to talk about the hostage deal. We've got Congressman Anthony Desposito, great guy, former NYPD detective. and we're going to talk about all the changes that are coming up in America in just a few minutes. So it's all coming up on the Judge Jeanine Tunnel to Towers Foundation show. And up next here, I will be speaking with radio personality and host of the #1 morning talk show, Sid and Friends in the Morning on 77 WABC, Sid Rosenberg. Coming up right here on the Red Apple Audio Network.
Now, it's time for Protecting Your Future, sponsored by Colonial Metals Group. Here's Judge Jeanine.
Hi, this is Jeanine Pirro, and this is Protecting Your Future, sponsored by the Colonial Metals Group. You know, today we're talking about the dawn of a golden age in America. But you should be thinking about the dawn of a golden age in terms of your future, your economic future, and how the Colonial Metals Group can get you to the dawn of your own golden era.
It's the Judge Jeanine Show. This is the Jeanine Pirro Show. Now, here's Judge Jeanine Pirro.
Welcome back to the Judge Jeanine Tunnel to Towers Foundation show. Joining us now is a voice that you'll recognize, a man that you know, someone that we all love. He's my buddy. He's radio personality and host of the #1 morning talk show, Sid and Friends in the Morning on 77 WABC, Sid Rosenberg. Now, if I had thought about it, Sid, I would have had some great music playing for you, but since I'm in Washington and it's freaking freezing,
right?
The last thing I want to do is take my glove off to call somebody and tell them, I got to get a glove that you can work on a phone. But anyway, join me in welcoming Sid Rosenberg to the Judge Jeanine Tunnel.
It's an honor to be here.
Oh, and, yes, it is.
And I am also in Washington, D.C., on my way to the rally, about to freeze my ass off, too. And just so you know, Jeanine, if you think today is bad,
tomorrow's going to be worse.
Oh, tomorrow. They're saying it's going to be, you ready for this? The coldest day in the history of the town.
Yes, yes. All right. Let them watch us in the beginning of the golden era. But listen, this is what I'm trying to figure out, Sid. So I'm in Westchester and I'm packing and I'm like, I got to have my ski silk underwear on with that. Then I have to have cashmere on. Then I have to put the suit on. Then I have to put the boots on, the heaters in the boots, the coat, the heaters in the gloves. I'm going to look like a blimp because we're doing the 5 on top of a rooftop.
Oh, God.
In Washington, open rooftop.
You're doing Constitution 101 like Kilmeade and the whole crew is doing.
Yes.
Oh, that's rough. Listen, I got good news for you. It doesn't matter because I had Gordon Chang on my show on Friday talking about TikTok going away and all this stuff. And he's convinced, forget about cyber warfare, that China is going to attack the United States and we're all going to die anyway. So don't worry.
Gordon, when? Like this weekend? I mean, can I get my things in order?
I asked him that. I go, can you let me know? I'm trying to go to Florida in a couple of months. He goes, Sid, it could happen at any time.
Yeah. First of all, I love Gordon Chang. Folks, we both love and respect him. We're not laughing
No.
For any reason other than, we love him. And the truth is, we are so excited. We're in such a good mood. We're in Washington and the President of the United States, our Commander-in-Chief, he's bringing us a new age, a golden era in America, and those leftist, progressive, lying, gaslighting, half-wits are gone, like Kamala,
Oh, Kamala, Joe. And he put out a Truth Social on Thursday, Trump, where he started to name all these backstabbing Democrats and Republicans, people like Paul Ryan and Mitt Romney.
Yep.
It was such a great, but I got to say this, as you and I are here today in D.C. getting ready for this big event coming up tomorrow, I have to admit this, Trump had me scratching my head a couple of times this week.
Why?
2 times in particular. One, I don't like the hostage deal. I don't like it. And secondly, I'm getting a little tired of the buddying up to Adams. I don't want to hear about I'm sympathetic, DOJ. Trump loves New York. I know he does. He loves New York. If you love New York, you know that this mayor, along with de Blasio, have destroyed this city. So this buddying up, they had lunch together at Mar-a-Lago 2 days ago. I'm going to pardon him. Maybe he'll run as a Republican in primary Curtis Sliwa. So between the hostage deal and having lunch with Eric Adams, not a great week for me. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, let me tell you something. The president, the 47th president of the United States, to me, I am thrilled that he's there. Whatever's going on. Look, let's be straight. Eric Adams, I'm not a fan of his. All I wanted him to do was to go to a damn homicide scene, roll up his sleeves and saying, I'm a cop. This is who I am. And damn it, I'm going to find you. I'm going to find this gang. You're never getting out of jail. And, New Yorkers would have been, yes, we've got someone. But that didn't happen. He was too busy going to the nightclub. So,
yes,
that's where I am.
No, but here's the thing. You're right about all that. But here's what you can turn this around. And even though, again, I was aggravated on Friday about this lunch, here's where you can give Trump credit. Donald Trump said, and he's a man of his word, when he was running, he hadn't even won yet. He said, when I win, not if I win, when I win, I'm going to work with the governor, who's a horrible person, a Democrat here in New York, Kathy Hochul.
Oh, she's incompetent.
She's the worst, and the mayor. So at least, think about Trump. Biden, when he won, you'll never forget this, he had his wife put those stupid unity signs on the lawn at the White House. We're going to come together. Trump says, I'll work with Democrats. And even before he's being sworn in tomorrow, he's made that true.
Yeah, there's no question that the president knows that it's not a game, it's not an ideology, it's about Americans. And finally, we've got a president who believes what we believe, that if you're illegal and you come here illegally and you commit a crime, you get your ass out. You get it deported. And I don't want to hear about anybody Trump-proofing the country to make sure that they protect illegals who have no right to be here in the first place.
It is pretty amazing, as you're talking about illegals, that a couple days ago, Mayorkas, Kristi Noem, of course, had to face the Senate 2 days ago, right. And she's going to take that job. But Mayorkas comes out this week. I mean, you talk about completely delusional and buying your own bullshizzle. This guy comes out and says a couple of days ago, the border is safer now than it was in 2019. You should be put in prison just for saying that.
It's scary. And we can laugh. And again, how many people have suffered from that border, allegedly secure border, who are living with the consequences forever? But let's move on. Let's talk about the hostage deal. Now, and I know that a ceasefire is meaningless, that there was a ceasefire on October 6th. But we wanted to get the hostages back. And there had to be like a dramatic statement when Trump came in that they were willing to agree. Now, what do you have a problem with? Talk to me.
My main problem is this. People always say, I want the hostages back more than anybody. Shut up. I'm begging you. No, the families of the hostages want them back more than you. But excluding the family and their friends, I want the hostages back more than anybody. But I'm not going to risk the lives of 10 million Israelis. And quite frankly, Jews all over the world. We see it here on the campuses, but there are Jews being murdered that we don't cover every day. So maybe there's 12 or 13 million Jews. I'm not going to risk their lives for 32 people. I'm sorry. I want those hostages back, but you cannot make a deal where you allow bad people to go right back into the Hamas world, rebuild an army.
Well, that's the issue.
Right
there is the issue. Do you allow Hamas to go back in and rebuild? Because let our listeners know one thing. Hamas has pretty much been decimated. Hezbollah has been destroyed. Iran has been weakened. Assad is killed. It's a new Middle East. But what are you concerned about with respect to?
I'll tell you what. The Hamas has not been destroyed. Even decimated is probably an aggressive word here. They've been rebuilding.
Come on. They did a lot.
They did a lot. They killed Sinwar. They killed Nasrallah. Yeah. They killed all these leaders. There's no question about it. So what? There's still about 12,000 of these animals, these rats that are living in the tunnels that are ready to pick up arms. Now you're going to add to those guys these horrible terrorists who've been in jail because they really did some horrible things.
That's the problem.
Right. Yeah. So now October 7th is going to happen maybe 8 years, maybe 10 years. So do you take that risk because you want 32 people out and you promised, in Trump's case, I'm going to do this before I take over. Or in Biden's case, I'm going to do this before I leave. To me, it seems like there's too much jockeying for position. This is much bigger than that. And you cannot put the lives of Jews, millions of Jews in Israel and all over the world, in jeopardy to get out 30 people so you can stand there and go, I told you I can do that.
Well, here's the other part of it, though. Do we know if those 32 people, are they alive?
No.
Is there any proof of life anywhere?
I hope that Trump knows that. Bibi knows that. I mean, I don't think we know as much as Trump and Bibi do. I would hope not. Biden as well, and Blinken and the rest of them. But I have no idea. Now, look, Israelis value dead people as much as living people. They want the bodies back. They don't care. Once you're there, they love you, and that's the end of it. But to be honest, I don't. Okay, I'm not Israeli, and I think that the living are more important than the dead bodies that have been laying there for months on end. So if they said to me, look, you're going to get back all the living hostages, all of them, in phase one, and then we'll work on the rest. You know what they're doing here? Phase one, day one, you get back 3 females. A week later, you get back 4 females. And then 5 weeks later, you get the other 26.
It's over a course of weeks.
I mean, come on.
But see, here's my problem. My problem is not so much the ceasefire. I mean, because it is President Trump who's going to pretty much control this, okay? President Trump is going to say, you know what? I don't like it. Deal's off. Or you didn't do this, or you didn't do that. I don't like the release of the Palestinians from prison. A ceasefire with the return of the hostages is a good thing, okay? But you don't tell me we're going to be releasing Palestinians who are in prison as part of the deal?
See, I don't think a ceasefire is a good thing. And maybe I'm just a bloodthirsty Brooklyn kid. Maybe I'm just an animal. I don't know. But I want to kill them all. I want to just absolutely kill them all, just like Pete Hegseth said in front of the Senate, just like Marco Rubio said in front of the Senate, just like Walt said in front of the Senate. To me, the war is won not when a minuscule amount of hostages are home. The war is won when we blow that damn place up and all these animals are dead. So, no, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a deal. I want the Israelis to go in and save the hostages like they've done at times before and eliminate Hamas. That's it. I don't want a deal.
So you want someone to win. You don't want a diplomatic.
No, I don't want someone to win. I want Israel to win.
Right. Yeah, of course.
And the fact that the news and even Biden and Trump put Hamas and Israel in the same sentence as if they're morally equivalent. Right. You've got a beautiful democratic country and a bunch of murderous thugs. Who's Hamas? They talk about Palestine. Jeanine, Palestine doesn't exist. I got to watch Bill Ritter, this moron on Channel 7, telling me last night, his reporter goes, oh, they're celebrating on both sides. Wait a second. This is not a both sides war. Israel was attacked. And they have the right to kill as many as they have to in getting that country back to where it should be.
Sid, I want to thank you for being with us. You are the best, and I will see you somewhere along the way in the next few hours, I'm sure.
Look who's talking. You're the best. I love you. Thank you, Jeanine.
This is the Jeanine Pirro Show. Now, here's Judge Jeanine Pirro.
Welcome back to the Judge Jeanine Tunnel to Towers Foundation Show. Joining us is former Congressman Anthony D'Esposito, who was also a Gold Shield at the New York City Police Department, a detective, and as a Hempstead councilman and also as a congressman. He dealt a lot with issues regarding Homeland Security. This is a man who's been on joint task forces and knows full well the connection between the federal government, state government, local government, and how we can work together to make sure that America shines the way she should. So I want to welcome former Congressman Anthony D'Esposito. How are you this Sunday morning, Congressman?
Good morning, Judge. Happy Sunday. We are, I guess, less than a little over 24 hours to President Trump being inaugurated.
Yeah, I know. I have to tell you, it is a great day. It's a cold day here in Washington, D.C. But I have to tell you, I am so excited on the verge of this new golden era in America. And as we go forward and about to witness the inauguration of the 47th President of the United States, I have very high hopes. I feel optimistic. The economy, security, safety, all of the incoming president's nominees have been killing it in the hearings. And in particular, I think that Pete Hegseth, Pam Bondi, everyone has been incredibly competent and so different from the individuals that Joe Biden had, who didn't think they were accountable, wouldn't answer questions. How do you feel about the new nominees?
So I've been in D.C. since last week, and there is just so much excitement on Capitol Hill. And I think a lot of it began early last week with the beginning of the Senate hearings for the nominees, and starting with Pete Hegseth to Pam Bondi to Marco Rubio to Lee Zeldin and everybody in between. I mean, they all excelled. I mean, they were given some tough questions. Obviously, the Democrats, their only purpose was to try to present these gotcha moments. Not one of the Democrats that were asking questions were they concerned about the future of the United States of America? Were they concerned about making this country safer? Were they concerned about growing the economy? All they wanted to do was talk about the past. They wanted to talk about President Trump. They wanted to pit the nominees against each other to try to create infighting, and they all kept their cool. They all stayed on message. None of them lost their temper, even when they probably should have, and they directly answered the questions that the American people wanted to hear. And I think, Pam Bondi did a phenomenal job. At one point, Senator Blumenthal was telling her, you need to say this, you need to say that, this is what you should be thinking. And she looked him directly in the eyes, and obviously the eyes of the American people, and said, actually, I don't need to say any of that. What we need to be talking about is the fact that the Biden administration has weaponized the justice system, and what I am going to do to keep Americans safe and to move this country forward. And I think the excitement that we're feeling on Capitol Hill, and obviously tonight's big rally with President Trump coming into town, I think a lot of that has to do with the promises that Trump made, making America safe again, making America great again, growing our economy. I mean, over the last week when we heard from our nominees, they have told once again the American people and refortified that belief that what President Trump said he was going to do, he is going to do, because he has capable, smart, hardworking patriots ready to join his administration.
Well, they are smart and they are hardworking. And I have to tell you, Anthony D'Esposito, the comparison between Pam Bondi, who didn't read a note, who's got an experience as a prosecutor, as an attorney general, and the comparison to her and Kamala Harris, who couldn't get a word out that made any sense, or a sentence out that made any sense to the American people, is stunning. The bar now is where it should be as it relates to women in government and women in politics. Pam Bondi has set the standard, the gold standard for women. I don't say this because she's my friend, and she is my friend. I love her. I think she's brilliant. I respect her. But I say it for the young girls in this country. Anthony, I say it for the young girls who want to look up to someone and say, that's who I want to be. Mom, that's what I want to be. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be an attorney general, and I am so proud at this moment of people like Pam Bondi. And I'm so proud of Pete Hegseth, again, a friend of mine. They tried to destroy him. And I think the best line was when, I think it was the senator from Oklahoma says, how many of you, have shown up drunk for a late night vote? I mean, come on. And I know Pete Hegseth. I know him as an honorable, decent guy, and I've been working with him for 10 years. So the hate that the left has, put it away. Now you can watch competence shine. And,
right. Well, they can't do it, though. They can't put the hatred away. And that's the sad part, is that Republicans are going to unite. And, what I think is critically important, and the thing that matters the most, and the thing that's driving the Democrats the most crazy, is that, President Trump was elected because he garnered the support, not just from conservative Republicans, but from independents and Democrats who are so sick of their party continuing to move to the left and put this country in a really bad place.
You are so right. And you know what? The verdict is out. The American people, realize that Joe Biden was a disaster as a president. And the fact that this clueless guy is saying, I could have beat Trump, Kamala could have beat Trump. Are you delusional? Are you delirious? Are you with us? The truth is Kamala lost to him.
His entire administration is delusional. I mean, just, at the end of the week, we heard from Secretary Mayorkas, who literally is trying to continue to gaslight the American people. This is a guy who was impeached and then let off the hook by the Senate, telling the American people that the border is in better shape than it was when Joe Biden took office. Almost 15 million people have come into this country illegally. They've infiltrated gangs. They've smuggled narcotics. They've killed American children. They have made this country completely less safe, and he is trying to continue to tell us, even in his last days of power, that the country is safer under his watch. I mean, there is nothing more absurd than that. 15 million people on the terror watch list who want to cause harm to the American people. I mean, his sole job when he took his oath was to protect the homeland. From the moment he wakes up in the morning to the moment he lays his head on his pillow, to do everything in his power to protect the United States of America. That's right. He failed at every turn.
He failed at every turn, and he showed no empathy for the American people. The whole administration, whether it's Mayorkas, Kamala, Biden, how many young women died at the hands of illegals? And, I don't even want to engage in who's a criminal, who isn't a criminal. This would not have happened if they were not allowed into the country. It's that simple. But for the Biden administration's open door policy, these women would not have been brutalized, raped, murdered, children molested, people going to funerals. And you know what? Anthony, you know this. I mean, you were a detective. You get it. I mean, the after effects of a homicide. It isn't over when the person is dead. The family lives with the pain. The community lives with the pain.
It's never over.
Nonstop. It never ends.
It never ends, and that's why good investigators, many of which I worked with in the NYPD, when you have a victim and you walk them through the case step by step from the moment it happens to arrest, to prosecution, and even after. I mean, these are victims' families are people that you keep in your life for your entire life. And I think something else that is sad is that, we're now looking at the point moving forward. President Trump is going to be the 47th president of the United States. And instead of focusing on so much good that he can bring, he now has to clean up the mess of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, starting with deporting so many individuals who came here illegally, starting with the criminals and those who are creating more victims for the justice system.
Well, there's no question. They really have a job to do. But, at the same time, you and I and all of America have been watching President Trump, incoming President Trump, focus on the first day. I mean, we've never had hearings this early. We've never had nominees nominated as early as the president has done it, President Trump. And in the end, they're going to hit the ground running on Monday. I mean, how many executive orders do they have ready to go? Stephen Miller is brilliant. He surrounded himself with brilliant people. And this is an America that's going to make a sharp turn. But I want to ask you, speaking of an America with a new leader and a sharp turn, we found out on Friday that the hostage deal was approved by the Israeli parliament. What are your thoughts on that?
So, I believe that Hamas is a genocidal death cult. And my concerns are that I don't believe that Hamas follows through with their agreement. I mean, we all need to remember that there was a ceasefire until October 7th when Hamas violated that. But I think really what's most important right now is the fact that the American people and across this world see the strength that President Trump has. And like you said a couple of minutes ago, I don't think that we've seen, at least in my lifetime, and I probably think that you'd agree, we haven't seen a president from Election Day to before inauguration show so much strength and leadership and go and fly into different countries and be recognized as basically the leader of the free world. And President Trump has done that. And he made it very clear from day one after the election, if this hostage situation is still continuing and they are still holding hostages, especially Americans, when he gets sworn into office, all hell will break loose. And, if President Biden tried to deliver that message, I think it would fall on pretty deaf ears, because nobody looks at President Biden as someone who's strong, who's a capable leader, or who is willing to hold people accountable. But when President Trump says it, they realize that there will be hell to pay. And the fact that that he is not going to allow a terrorist group to control the narrative. He is not going to allow a terrorist organization to continue to try to manipulate the people of Israel and, quite frankly, the United States of America. So that is really what's most important, is the fact that he is going to lead as President Reagan did in that peace through strength adage. And I think that the days of America shining bright are truly ahead, because President Trump is going to show leadership that this country so rightly needs. And that is why, like I said a few minutes ago, there's a reason why President Trump garnered the support of not just conservative Republicans, because people are sitting home and they're watching unfold this disaster that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have created, and they want the best for the United States of America. They want us to be that shining beacon, and they know President Trump and his administration are going to deliver that.
Well, they're definitely going to deliver it, and there's the comparison between Trump and Biden is day and night, but also between Trump and Obama. It's like when Donald Trump says there'll be hell to pay, they know it. They know it. They believe him. When Biden says no, don't. And the same with Obama. Remember the red line? Don't cross that red line. Don't cross. They crossed it. Obama, Russia invaded Crimea, took a whole swath of land. Nobody said anything. And, you kind of wonder what is going on. But I think America now has it clear. The Obama, starting with Obama and then ending with Biden and I call her the half-foot Kamala. They had an administration that wasn't focused on the American people. They were focused on left-wing ideology. They were focused on themselves. Exactly. And, I said the other day, the problem with politics today is that people want the position and they want the title, but they don't want the job. They don't want to do the work. If you don't love your job like you did, I know you did when you were a detective, like I did when I was a DA, if you don't wake up every day and say, I can't wait to get to work, then you're in the wrong job, okay?
Absolutely.
You don't believe in it. And that's why Donald Trump is going to be believed. That's why we've got people in the Senate hearings right now who are believers. They love what they do. They want to get the job done. And I am so
many
excited.
Democrats across the country that, they don't realize that public service, me and you, when we think about public service, it's about us serving the public. Democrats and Joe Biden, they have taken it that the American people and the public should be serving them.
Or at least positioning them for the next level, like Karen Bass. Oh, I'll never leave Los Angeles. 4 times she left. And she had the warning. I'm not even going to get into the fires today.
They wish she would leave Los Angeles.
Well, what about Gavin? Poor Gavin. Talk about an empty suit, Congressman. Is this guy an empty suit or what?
I have zero sympathy for Gavin Newsom. I think we spoke a couple of weeks ago. Not only the argument right now that this was all came through climate change and global warming. This came from failed leadership. It came from cutting the budgets by close to $20 million to the fire service in Los Angeles. It came to not fighting crime, where firefighters and first responders were going to areas that they had pre-planned for these fires to hit hydrants to put water on fires, but yet the hydrants weren't there. Why? Because they were taken by criminals and sold for money. That's what's happening in places like Los Angeles. And, Gavin Newsom, his only narrative that he has right now is he wants to blame Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is not the reason as to why we've seen the devastation in L.A. The reason is because just like progressives and Democrats have chosen to defund the police, they've defunded first responders and emergency response, just like firefighters. I mean, $20 million. I mean, you look earlier, just in January, there was a memo sent out by the LA fire, basically saying that they weren't going to be operating. They weren't going to be able to operate to their full potential, that there was a potential of closing 7 to 8 firehouses because of the budget cuts. That's the issues. It's failure to plan. In emergency response and emergency preparedness, you always say to yourself, are we better off today than we were the last time we saw something similar? And the answer in LA is they are far worse. They're far worse because their leaders suck.
Well, their leaders not only suck, but, I just heard yesterday, and, we all know that reservoir was empty. Apparently the one that serves the Palisades for repairs. And I said, I want to see the contract. I want to know why time wasn't of the essence, why, this thing wasn't, everybody wasn't notified for an alternate source of water. And Congressman Desposito, the truth is that they could have had alternate sources of water. The fire department said they had no idea the reservoir was empty. Now, does that mean they should have known they were inept and not knowing? Who knows? But all I can tell you, Congressman Anthony Desposito, is tomorrow's another day. The sun will come out tomorrow. Whatever song you want to sing, I'm singing it for a new dawn in America. And I want to thank you for joining us, Congressman. And I guess I'll see you in D.C.
Yes, I'll see you tomorrow, and dress warm. It's cold.
Congressman Anthony Desposito, thank you so much.
It's the Judge Jeanine Show. This is the Jeanine Pirro Show. Now, here's Judge Jeanine Pirro.
Okay, now it's time for me to gavel out with my closing argument. Okay, folks, I think you can hear it in my voice. I am so excited about this new dawn for America. I am so excited about the fact that we have a president who is not only competent, he loves America, he believes in America, and he is going to make sure that we are protected and we are safe. Can one man do everything? Of course not. But we can set the tone, and he already has, in between the election and the inauguration, with the outstanding candidates that he has nominated to assist him in writing the course for America. And the fact that there was a deal that was reached, I don't give Joe Biden any credit at all. I really don't. The truth is, Joe Biden, all he wanted was a ceasefire from Israel. All he wanted was Israel to slow walk. He didn't want Israel to win a war. He wanted just everybody to stop fighting, which is a good thing. Don't get me wrong. But you can't stop fighting unless you're sure that the enemy is without the ability to regroup. And that's my biggest fear. But as we go into the weekend and into the week, I am excited for America. I am excited for all of us. We're going to right this ship, folks, and all the things that we've talked about, all of the lunacy from the left and the left-wing progressivism and the gaslighting and the hatred for Americans and the suppression of free speech, the fact that, people's religion and their position as parents were being attacked. That's all over. So God bless America, everyone. Make sure you join us right back here next week. Same time, same place for the Judge Jeanine Tunnel to Towers Foundation Show. Have a great day, everyone, on the rebirth of America. God bless.